Hi everybody, I'm a food rheologist and I'm on sabbatical. While I'm on sabbatical, I'm making a weekly video series about rheology I find in everyday life. And today's video is part 1 of 2 about hair rheology. So for those of you who know me, I have a lot of hair. And by a lot, I mean this is more than enough to sit on. It's currently piled behind me. And so I face something that everybody with long hair faces, tangles. Now, rheology does not explain why we have tangles. That's physics and that's entropy. But rheology does help you understand why is it so difficult to untangle your hair sometimes versus other times. And that actually has to do with friction. So, for example, when your hair is dry, it's pretty slidey and it's not that hard to run your fingers through it, and I just hit some tangles because that's what happens when you have long hair and it's down, but I was able to just kind of pull my hands gently through those tangles. They're gone. If my hair was wet, the friction between the strands increases because of the water on it. The water has really high surface tension and it likes to stick those strands together. So if I was to pull my fingers through my hair while it's wet, they stick more. And so that's why if you try to brush your hair right after you get out of the shower, it's hard to untangle it unless you have some kind of product in there that drops the friction between the strands of your hair so you can actually slide your comb or your brush through it. Now, I know people tell you don't brush your hair when it's wet. It is not a good idea because the strands are swollen, they break more easily. Yeah, that's true, but it's also actually easier to style your hair once it's untangled and it's still wet or damp, because of the increased friction. So if I was to tie my hair in a knot right now, which I can, that knot in about 5 minutes will slide out because my hair is really, really slidey. And so here we go. Yes, I just tied a knot in my own hair. There it is. But look how easy. I'm barely pushing on my hair and that knot is already sliding down my hair. If my hair is wet, this knot doesn't move that easily because the strands have a lot of friction and they don't slide past each other as easily. And so styling my hair while it's still damp actually helps keep it in the same place. So for example, when I travel, I usually have all day travel because I'm traveling from one side of the US to the other. That's just how my job works. And so I have to go through TSA security, I have to get on and off flights, I have to carry all these things around, and I really don't want all this hair getting in my way when I try to do that, especially with TSA because the scanners can't scan through this and I always get a back pat down if my hair's not pulled up. So what I do is get my hair really wet, dry it off, braid it, wrap it around my head, use about 30 bobby pins to keep it in place, but because I styled it when it was wet, it doesn't go anywhere. It sort of just dries itself to the shape of my head and it stays put all day, which is really awesome because I don't have to worry about my hair. So there you go. Detangling hair while it's wet, not a great idea. Those strands just won't separate and untangle as nicely as they do right now when your hair is dry. But styling and trying to keep your hair in one place while it's wet, pretty good idea because that friction helps lock your hair in place so it doesn't move before you can get your bobby pins or straight pins or hairspray or whatever you're keeping to stick it in place on your hair so it stays put. Part 2 talks about, okay, so how can you control the friction of your hair to make it do what you want aside from getting it wet or getting it dry? Talk to you about that next week.